Is that a machete in your pocket, sir, or are you just happy to see me?
I'm just saying, why wouldn't you check the back seat?
I'm just not here for it.
I kind of enjoyed the axe to the face.
Ooh, hey there, Mr. Monster.
So, chill or kill?
Welcome back, folks, to Netflix and Kill. This is our second attempt at starting the show today. Because the first time, let's just say, was a little dry.
It was a little dry, honey. It was dry. It was just flat.
Had just worked an 8-hour shift. It was not good for you.
It was just like you just got off that 8-hour shift and you got home and you just...
You have about 10 minutes before you have to be in bed. Otherwise, you're going to be dog-ass tired tomorrow. So you just got to get it in. You know what I mean?
Yep. But you're still kind of hungry. So you like run to the fridge and just
so you split that 10 minutes between eating.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. That's what it was like. But this time, it's going to be different.
Yeah.
I believe.
We say that every time we start. It's going to get easier.
I say that every time I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And it never does. Does it? For any of us.
Welcome back to another rousing episode of Netflix and Kill.
Yeah. It's been great, getting to watch all of these excellent films that Netflix provides to us during our time of need.
Fabulous high quality horror content, I would say, much like the film that we'll be reviewing for you today, which is 2019's Deadcon.
I'm so glad you remembered what it was that we watched because we've been watching a lot, and I'm like, what are we doing? What is life?
Yeah.
What's going on right now?
It's difficult. It's difficult to structure things like time, much because it's a made-up concept.
It really is. I think...
Luckily, I was comfortable with that before this quarantine, so
that's true.
I've been handling this all in stride.
Well, I think both of us were like, what was that film that we watched?
We watched a couple things. We have a couple... we're ahead of schedule.
Oh, I think that's what's got us fucked up.
Right? But there's a couple things on our list to record that we've already watched. And this one was one that I kept leaving off the fucking list. Like, I would go through the list and Kenny be like, and Deadcon. And I'd like list it off again another day when we were talking about scheduling our recording. And he'd be like, and Deadcon. And I'm like, just wasn't there for me on the list. So we're sitting down, recording it today, and we're going to chat about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it. We're going to try to.
Do you want to give us a plot synopsis?
If I can. I mean, definitely. So I tried looking for a Wikipedia page on this, and apparently it doesn't exist.
It's not on Wikipedia?
No. It's not on Wikipedia's radar.
Telling.
But yes, so it is a 2019 listed as a drama horror mystery.
It's listed
film.
as a drama?
Drama first, horror second, mystery last.
Interesting. Interesting choice.
I mean, we could have probably just went with mystery because, well.
I think she was trying. Anyway, all right. Yeah. Plot synopsis first, then we'll discuss.
Plot synopsis first. So the point is you have this... Well, all right. So you have this convention of YouTubers and social media stars that come together and, they're staying at this hotel. Things get weird and they start... I don't really know. I don't really know.
So, all right. Let me give it a crack. Let me
give this a crack because this is like...
I'm gonna hit it out of the park. All right. So, like Kenny was saying, you have a conference of or a convention. I guess not a conference, a convention of all of these social media video stars. It's very obviously referencing YouTube, but it doesn't say YouTube because they're not trying to get sued by Google, and we aren't either. So. It's referencing the YouTube platform, and it's sort of commenting on these social media stars these vloggers who basically turned their life and the filming of their life into a monetized like stream of revenue for them. So it's about these different like personalities who are all gathered in this one hotel. Well, apparently the hotel has some sort of paranormal element going on. It is a haunted hotel, and hijinks basically ensue from there. That's basically the best. I guess that's the only plot synopsis that we can give you now before we put up a spoiler alert, because getting into like why the hotel is haunted is sort of part of the point of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that would be a spoiler. So we'll say haunted hotel, bunch of social media, YouTube stars, YouTube, not YouTube, but, and then there's a bunch of kids
most
apparently
likely
that watch them that are their fans, and they're all in this hotel and the hotel's haunted. Boom. There's your plot synopsis.
Yeah. And spoiler warning. All right.
All right.
Well, now
So-
that all of those people are gone and it's just us.
Now that the uninformed have left the chat. So the reason that the hotel is haunted is because we have this guy. It's shown in the prologue actually that there's this man who was inventing this computer. It looked like what may have been the first social network, if you will, or the prototype of the chat room.
like a chat room.
Yeah, which I think they put that in like somewhere in the 1980s. Or
Something like that. Yeah. It was like
Yeah.
early 80s, I think.
But it looked very like I don't know, questionable about the timing on that, because I'm pretty sure chat rooms were around like even in like the prototype of chat rooms were like from the early 90s, and they looked a lot better than what was shown on the screen. So anyway,
Yeah, I don't remember there being chat rooms on my old Macintosh computer. Macintosh.
But they existed. There were definitely people in chat rooms in like 92 or whatever, but there was just not a lot. The internet wasn't open to like everybody. But
It was exclusive.
It was exclusive to nerds. So basically this man had built this computer system, this social media platform, this whatever, within the internet, and he was shit canned for it and told to shut down the project. And then we have Billy, who is this fucking voice from within the machine, who says, I can help you popularize your social media platform if you help find me friends in real life. And that's kind of like, it's left on this weird note, right?
Yeah.
So basically what we don't find out shit about Billy and why he fucking needs friends. But we do find out that he, basically what happened is the guy who invented the social media platform was kidnapping kids, and feeding them essentially to the computer, which was fucking haunted, in order to gain success. And then we flash forward into the present, and of course the social media whole not YouTube platform thing is referencing, obviously it comes from the progression of that first, what we're led to believe, or sort of is insinuated, the first social media presence online, which was this program that this guy was making.
Yeah.
And every character is shit. Nobody is really redeemable. And we basically, see them get taken out one by one by this haunted entity. Only the problem is that we don't really learn that much about the haunted entity.
I know. That's what I struggled with when you were trying to tell me, when I was attempting to do this plot synopsis.
Yeah, it's really hard.
It was hard because I'm just like, what? Yeah, so you've got this entity. You don't really know a whole lot about it. There's no real like backstory.
So there are breadcrumbs that are left for us, right? Like we see when the main girl, who I don't even fucking know her name. I'm sorry, guys, but I don't. The main Ashley. Is it Ashley?
Girl, I don't know.
Whatever. The main character, who is a piece of shit like everybody else, she actually she's a little bit less of a piece of shit, I think, but annoying still. So she goes she finds in her room this picture of this, like, it's almost like it's slid under the door. It's this little boy who is standing and like holding a balloon or whatever, looking fucking creepy, and he's from like the 70s or whatever. Late 70s, I think.
Possibly. We don't really know.
I think it has a date on the photo, but so we see this photo. It's really fucking creepy. You turn it over and it says Billy on the back. So that apparently is Billy, which is the same name as the voice from within the computer who we saw talking to the guy who invented that chat room in the 80s, who is compelling this man to basically feed people to the computer.
Yeah.
And then you have like the Easter bunny balloon, like the weird creepy bunny balloon in the closet. So there are breadcrumbs that are left out, but the problem is that the dots are never fucking connected. Why is the Easter bunny thing even a thing?
Yeah,
what the fuck? Is it just there because it's creepy?
In the picture that she found, he was holding a bunny.
Yeah.
Balloon, right? But it's like never really explained as to why. I think it was just more of like just something thrown in to be creepy, but without any sort of like
without any context
or
whatsoever.
Whatever.
We don't ever reference why there's a fucking bunny balloon. Like, why is it a thing?
Yeah.
Was it a fucking Easter parade and that picture was taken at the Easter parade where that boy died? Ooh, like
you never really know. It's kind of like if you were trying to think of It and the red balloon.
Yeah.
But it makes more sense because it being a clown would have balloons.
Exactly.
You never really know, like, why does this kid just have a fucking huge ass fucking bunny balloon?
And like, why is that so significant? Like, why is that significant enough to be sort of his indicator as a ghost, as an entity?
Mm-hmm.
We never know.
Yeah, no, you don't. So eventually she, our main character, who is, she's this major, like, she's this big YouTube star, and she's there at this convention, and what really killed me is that she doesn't really know, like, she's just over the convention. She's like, I'm here, but I don't want to be here, like, this bitch. And if they're going by, like, what YouTube stars are today and representing that, they make fucking bank.
Yeah.
Off of this shit, right? So like this is your job. Right. And this girl just like deigns to be
Hates
there.
It. I think they were going for the story of like somebody who maybe started vlogging because they really enjoyed it, and now it's a revenue stream for them, and it's been turned into this like thing that is like fake, right? The common refrain in this film is this concept of these people as being fake. But what kept bugging, and part of it I think was just us being unable to step outside of our own context, I think, because we've gone to a convention before. We plan to go to more conventions if we fucking have any after coronavirus. Yeah. But we even actually, spoiler alert, have some lined up for this year. So if they fucking go through,
that's true.
Fingers crossed on that one. But having gone to a convention representing the podcast, people don't have to listen to your shit. People don't have to watch your shit. People don't have to have any fucking thing to do with you. And I think it just struck a nerve with us that I think what the filmmakers were trying to go for is this person who used to love this thing, who now has gotten tired of it because it's such a big, it doesn't have any heart left to it because they're making money off of it. Right, but A, it doesn't have to be that way. And B, it was just really hard for us to step outside of our own context and relate to the struggle that she was feeling, because for us it's like, okay, like I don't really give a shit if you're tired. These people support you. These people listen to the content or watch the content that you put out. You're gonna have to fucking show up.
Right.
Like, we've had situations where we didn't necessarily feel the best, but if you're showing up for people who are showing up for you, you better fucking be there.
No, totally. Like, there's obviously a fine line between, like when it comes to your mental health and needing space and stuff like that. But here's the thing. You came to this with the intention that you knew what was going to happen.
Like, you opted
This isn't
in.
like you opted into this. You know that this is a convention where people are going to be there to see you specifically. It's not like that you were just running to Starbucks or somewhere and then, was accosted.
And people just
then,
it's
that's
expected.
a different story,
yes,
right?
They came so that they could meet you. They showed up.
Purchase tickets.
Yeah.
And so her attitude towards the whole thing was really kind of shitty and really put me off.
Yeah, both of us. And I think that
Because we've been there at that
Exactly.
convention and like have
Yes.
been tired and doing that. And
Yep.
then like,
I've been eating Indian food in the lobby with no fucking forks with my
while
hands.
I take my turn, while we take turns eating,
Yes.
so that way someone can be at our table and represent the show.
And don't have any issues with it or problems with it, because
Nah, bro.
the thing that excites us most is meeting people who enjoy our content, who take the time to sit down and listen to us.
Yeah.
So I think there was a level of, we were not necessarily supposed to like these people, but at the same time, I felt very much like the film was trying to get me to relate to her struggle, and I just couldn't.
Yeah.
Because I guess the difference is that you and I, like, we're able to take care of each other, and like while we do things to like promote the show and meet listeners and everything like that, we also try to keep in mind our own mental health.
Right.
And we try not to run ourselves into the ground to the point that we just get so like disillusioned and burn out that we don't care about it anymore. Right.
True. Yeah.
So that is part of taking care of yourself. And I think that the film was kind of trying to show us that she had that manager who was just like pushing her for more and more and more. And I think she didn't have somebody in that protector role of like, hey, I need to take some time for myself.
Right.
But at the same time, she was just a fucking whiny ass cunt about it, and I can't.
Yeah. That's true.
I literally can't.
Yeah. So, and she's there with these other, social media stars, and there's like a core group of people of characters that you kind of have.
Core group, but we use that term lightly because
Very
they
lightly.
don't fucking interact really, except for like occasionally. And there's like hinted at that they, like, the dialogue between them, like is manipulated to the point that like you're supposed to believe, I think, that they know each other and they're like interrelated, but also they never really interact.
Yeah.
And so it feels totally strange.
Yeah, because you have our main social media girl, and then you also have, there's like another social media girl who
And they're
has,
exactly
like,
fucking alike.
pretty much. They have
Except that one girl wears creepers, so she's cool.
yeah. And they sort of like, one girl has her like, she has her boyfriend, the guy that she's cheating on her boyfriend with, who is also a social media star there at the convention. And then you have our main girl who really just has her manager. And then their really only connection is that they know each other through social media, pretty much.
Yes.
And that they are all sort of quote unquote victims of this paranormal experience that's going down at this hotel. And so throughout this, you have like these throngs of children fans that like they show them several times just running down the hallways, knocking and beating on the doors and like playing fucking Ding Dong Ditch and running around. And I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it made absolutely no sense to me. You never really have any context as to like what our main characters, like, she seemed to have a lot of really, really, really young kids
Right.
as fans.
But
like,
everything we see her vlogging is just like, it's not kid content.
no,
It's just,
like, and I'm talking like kids that should be watching probably Dora the fucking Explorer. Or
yeah,
some
like
shit.
really
Like,
young kids.
really small kids.
I could have gotten it if it was like preteens or like mid-teens, early teens.
Right.
But these were like 6-year-olds. And I'm like, why are you watching that?
I'm like, I just don't understand. Maybe that's just because we're old and
Maybe.
But I just didn't really get it. It didn't make sense to me. It just seemed to be like a way to throw in that kid element because you have Billy as a kid who I guess wants friends.
I guess, and then
But-
maybe when you have the possession stuff that's going on, like maybe that's supposed to make it creepier if it's kids, but I don't know.
Yeah. So we get into a point to where our main character becomes possessed.
Which, by the way, her rolling up to, that was probably the best part of the film for me, was her rolling up to the meet and greet. Because she looked crazy as shit. Like she had like the raccoon eyeliner and then her hair was all fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But then she had a nice blouse on and a good
She had
pair of
a-
skinny jeans and then no
was
shoes.
barefoot.
And she was just like rolling up and just like walking all slow with that possessed like straightforward stare. And I was like, Kenny, this is me. This is me showing up to the
That's
meet
true.
and greet.
She had those dark circles under her eyes or whatever.
Heck yeah.
You know, she kind of takes a few pictures and then finds just a random child by themselves and starts to lead them away until the parent
That's
of
not
said
me.
child.
That part's not me. You keep your children. I don't want them.
We don't want them, trust me. Until the parent of said child finally shows the fuck up, which, thank God.
That's the only time we see a fucking parent, basically.
Right. And then so the girl just kind of poofs, I guess, goes back to her hotel room to be creepy.
Yeah.
And
But later, doesn't that same child get sucked into like the computer?
almost
Oh, she almost did. Yeah.
almost did.
She just kept getting in trouble, girl. 2 strikes.
So meanwhile, we have our other our other social media stars. You have our one girl who's cheating on her boyfriend with this other guy. Plot twist, her actual boyfriend decides to show up, which makes it awkward because all 3 of them in this little love triangle are staying at this place. Mm-hmm. And then they just kind of get, picked off.
Well, you have that scene where the girl who is cheating on her boyfriend, who, by the way, is the supreme douchebag.
Like, I didn't feel bad.
He's a piece of garbage. But she also, again,
Everyone
in
is
this
really
film
a piece of shit.
So she is cheating on him with this other guy, and this other guy is like pressuring her to like dump the guy she's cheating on. Probably a good idea. And then be in this like formalized relationship with him. But she's not really trying to do that. She's not really about that life. She's just trying to get them good times, and she's not here for that bullshit. But then again, she is the bullshit. So
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a scene where he comes over and he like they're gonna have sex, and he's like, I think he asked her first to film.
Yeah, he asked if they
and
could
she
film
was
it.
like, "I'm not trying to." And then she went to the bathroom to change or whatever, and he fucking set his phone up with the camera on, and fucking filmed it without her consent, which pissed me off. I was ready for him to die immediately afterwards.
1,000%.
But then, like, the film did this weird thing where, like, they put him then, because when he was filming her without her fucking consent, like, he saw, like, the ghost and then had the information about the ghost, and he was like, oh, shit, and he was running around trying to tell everybody. It's like they put him in the position of being the hero because he got information about the ghost while he was non-consensually filming himself having sex with somebody who had explicitly said they didn't want to be filmed.
Yeah.
And I was just like, are we supposed to be like rallying for him? Because
we're not.
I'm not. I really just want all these people to die as soon as possible.
Yeah, he while they're having the sex, you see the sex.
The sex. Whilst they were making the beast with 2 backs.
Wait, what's that a quote from? Is that Othello?
Beast with 2 backs?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it is Shakespeare, yeah.
Okay. So while they're doing it, you see the door open, and so that's how you get a shot of like that, this ghost is there, and then while he's going back, he sees it, and then so like Katie said, tries to like start warning everyone, and
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Spoiler
no.
alert.
No, it didn't work. They all die.
But they all die. So
It
here's the
wasn't-
thing. This movie could have been amazing because you could take like a bunch of, I can't think of an example of it right now, but I've seen this be successful in the past where you take a bunch of really fucking unlikable characters and you ramp up the unlikability to like level 11, and you put them all in one place, and then you have some fucking badass, cool ass ghost, like, who essentially sort of takes on the role of the anti-hero of the film because everybody's cheering for the ghost.
Right.
Like,
right,
you
right.
have this fucking entity just, like, off these people one by one. And the deaths are really cool. And it's fucking, like, bloody and gory and, like, over the top and campy. And it's a riot. It's a great time.
Right.
I can't think of an example right now, but, like, we've seen that work before.
Well,
in
I mean,
horror.
that's most B horror anyway.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, even that archetype of like, even if you go back to like Friday the 13th, right? Where you have, campy camp counselors who, you know, are being douchebags, and then, you know, you get them fucking, you know, killed off one by one. That would be great. So
that would have
be
succeeded. But the thing is that the entity, the killer, the whatever that is supposed to be our villain has to be cool. And it just wasn't cool in this film. The deaths weren't cool. I don't even really remember a lot of the details. People just got kind of like sucked up into this bright light. And that was it.
Well, they just like it. And first, it took like forever for you to get your first kill. Yes. Like, I think we were 3/4 of the way through, over 3/4 of the way.
Yeah, we had like 20 minutes of the movie left.
Before anyone finally gets it. And they're not like great. There's nothing like.
They're not even good. Like,
it's not good. No, it's not like, it doesn't, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no satisfying, you know, deaths in this film. I was like, what?
The deaths just didn't deliver. I get that it was supposed to be like this like weird meeting of the paranormal and like the cyber world or whatever, which actually can be kind of cool. Like, that can work. It's a little more on the sci-fi side of things, so I know that that's a little bit more my genre than your genre, but like, I have definitely seen I've seen sort of I guess lore of that, where we take the paranormal and then we introduce like, or actually we're introducing the paranormal to the concept of like the cyber world and the internet and things like that, and that can be really interesting. For example, what was that film?
Unfriended.
Unfriended did that in an incredibly impressive way. Like, Unfriended was great with that, and said a lot. I think Unfriended was trying to say a lot of things about social networking that this film was also trying to get across, and Unfriended did it better. And, you know, you had the satisfying deaths and things like that.
Yeah, I completely agree.
It was low budget, by the way. It doesn't have to be high budget to have a really impressive, you know, death. You know, you don't have to blow the bank to fucking, that's not the expression. Break the bank.
Break the bank.
You don't have to blow the bank.
You don't have to blow the bank teller to get what you want.
You don't have to do that either. But you do have to be, you know, creative and inventive and have fucking seen horror. To me, this movie felt like somebody who has no concept of horror trying to pull off horror.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because there were, so I know we've been dogging this film. There were a couple of moments that I would like to highlight as an appreciation. There was one scene where our main girl's room had sort of been, it looked like it was broken into, had sort of been ransacked, and, you know, the maid was in there and she was cleaning and trying to clean it all up.
That was good.
And she's pulling the sheets off the bed, and she pulls the pillowcases off, kind of tosses them to the side, pulls a couple more things off, and then all of a sudden she pulls the sheets off the bed, throws them behind her, and when she throws them behind her, it lands on the silhouette of a figure.
Of a little boy.
Of like a little boy.
That was cool. That was very cool.
So that happened.
Visually, that was very interesting.
And I think the reason probably why it worked was because the film literally, like, it didn't set up anything else like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it was unexpected, because I'm like, whoa, a good moment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wasn't expecting there to be a good moment. And I think something like that probably wouldn't have worked if there was someone, if the film had just been a little bit smarter. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just wonder if it worked because we were so starved for that.
No, I think, so I do think that comes into play, but I think that scene was very well done. The way that it was, the way that it sort of lulled you into
some security.
Right. And then well, not necessarily even security, but it sort of lulled you into like every day. Like it was almost like the beginning of that scene of just watching her make the bed was kind of fucking boring. And we established that nothing's there as she's like throwing things onto the pile. And then all of a sudden the silhouette of this boy, like that was creepy as fuck. And I love that. And like the reference of like the white sheet over his silhouette was very like old school, like ghost representation, but it actually is like a literal ghost. And I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
I thought that was genuinely well done.
Yeah. And I mean, there were a few moments where, you know, where the stylization was really cool. But I mean, other than that, it was it. And so it was really interesting to find out that this was actually written by the same person who wrote Ma, which I really enjoyed. Mm-hmm. I think we both went to see that film. We both liked it. And directed by Karen Wacher, who did a film that I actually really like, which is The Sisterhood of the Night. I enjoyed that film. I enjoyed both of these films. So I'm not quite sure what happened here. What
happened with this one? Because I was sure that Deadcon was going to be directed by a team that we know nothing about. Like, well, I was absolutely sure that it was, you know, and not to slam independent film directors, because there have been independent films that we've watched that we reviewed on this show that we fucking loved, and you know, not to slam them, but I felt sure that this was going to be directed by like nobody. Well,
I mean, they don't have a lot of horror under their belts. I mean, it was Ma.
But what they do have is good. Like, it's nothing like this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Jesus.
I'm not sure.
I guess, you know, everybody's got one, man. Everybody's got one where they just...
I just wasn't expecting to connect this film with something like Ma.
Yeah.
Which like I said, we really like.
Interesting.
But, so yeah, I guess we're at that point now.
Gosh, guys, I wonder how we're going to rate it. I wonder if we're going to chill with it or kill it.
Katie, do you chill or do you kill?
You know, just to give an example of how to handle awesome deaths in horror, I'm going to kill it. And I'm going to kill it with absolute glamour. I'm going to kill it with old school horror gusto, just to give an example. I'm going to kill it.
Yeah.
100%. I'm going to choke it from the back seat as it goes
Be careful.
cross-eyed and lands on the horn.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I will recognize that there were a couple of moments in there that looked really great, and that very rare, those one or two moments that worked. And, you know, I think even at one point I pointed out or noticed that the walls of the hotel kind of looked like the pattern of The Shining, the floors.
I mean, yeah, but not in a cool way.
Not in a cool way,
shitty,
but
like you're dressing like your older sibling because you want to be cool way.
True.
Like,
so I have to kill it. I have to kill it. I have to take a fucking no. I'm going to come up behind it while it's talking on the phone and strangle it with the cord.
With the phone cord.
With the fucking phone cord. And then I'm going to take a knife and then just jab it right in the back.
Yep.
And then that's what I'm going to do with it. And I'm just going to leave it on the floor.
While it's wearing its chunky cable knit Drew Barrymore sweater.
No, while it's naked. A la PG Souls.
Love it.
So yeah, that's it. We're gonna both kill this fucking film, which I think we've been on a streak of chills.
We have.
So,
you know, I mean, it happens. It's out there. Some good, some bad. So in your Netflixing, just, you know, keep it in mind. There's a balance, a delicate balance to the universe.
Oh yeah.
And much like the universe itself, horror has its good and it's bad.
And it's fucking terrible.
All right, guys. If you want to connect with us outside the show, we will be fucking happy to talk to your ass outside the show. Genuinely, not being fucking fake. We're thankful for you.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for listening to our content. You're never a burden. Like,
Never, not once.
Connect with us on Instagram at The Haunted Heart Podcast. You can find us on Twitter at The Haunted Heart. You can always find us on Facebook. Just search The Haunted Heart Podcast. Like I said on the episode for this week, just hop into the Facebook group. We want to make it a place for socialization. We want to, give you guys an outlet, especially during this difficult sort of period that we're in where the whole fucking world's in limbo. Join us on Facebook. It's definitely not a fucking haunted social media platform that is going to steal your soul. For sure.
You sure about that?
Not even remotely. Anyway, you can review the show on Apple Podcast, on Stitcher, on whatever platform you use to listen to us. A couple people use YouTube, by the way. So thanks for the comments.
Yeah, so if you listen to us on YouTube, sorry, I didn't realize people commented on YouTube. I really didn't. Katie the other day was like, we should start responding to those comments on YouTube. And I'm like, what comments?
I'm like, we should figure out how to log in to post a response there. So we're going to work on that, YouTube.
Yeah. You'll be seeing more of us.
In the meantime, if you get tired of us not responding to your posts on YouTube, you can, or to your comments on YouTube, you can email us at thehauntedheartpodcast@gmail.com and crawl our ass.
Yeah. Tell us to respond by emailing us.
Do it. We'll love that. We'll love that.
Fucking love it. Get into it.
All right, guys. Until next time.
You know what you gotta do.
You gotta
stay spooky.